next speaker is Kimberly Giles. Kimberly Giles has been named one of the top 20 advice gurus in the country by Good Morning America in 2010. And she appears regularly on local and national TV and radio, including Good Morning Utah, KSL 5 News, The Matt Townsend Show, Good Things Utah, The Doug Wright Show, and BYU Radio. She has had over 300 articles published in newspapers, and she writes a weekly advice column for KSL.com. Please welcome to the stage the author of Choosing Clarity and the president and founder of the Clarity Point Coaching Academy, Kimberly Giles.
So in the next 7 minutes, I want to share with you a secret fundamental principle of human behavior that could very well change the way you see yourself and other people forever. Are you ready for it?
Yeah.
Okay. Everybody on the planet, including you and me, is suffering to some degree on a daily basis from a deep core fear that they might not be good enough. And you guys know this is true because you feel it. We call this the fear of failure, and we believe this started for most of us when we were really small. Because when you were a little child, no matter how fantastic your parents were, about 50 times a day someone said, "No, don't be like that. Can't you be more like this?" And what came across to us is maybe I'm inadequate. Maybe there's something about me that's just not right. And then we started school, and we started comparing ourselves to everyone else, and we found out that there were kids that are smarter than us, and better looking than us, and more athletic. And then we went to junior high, and the fear really got bad. And you think as an adult that we should have grown past this, but we haven't, because our lives are so complex. There's now 1,000 levels where I can be inadequate and feel like a failure on. So this is something that all of us battle every single day. And if you understand this about people, you're going to understand why they behave the way they behave. Because a large percentage of our behavior is really driven by the fact that we're so scared and we need validation and reassurance to make us feel like we're okay. So what I would like to do for you today is teach you one amazing strategy to eliminate that fear of failure so that you don't have to worry and feel like you're not good enough anymore. Would that help?
Yes.
Somebody would like to learn that? Okay, in order to change this very subconscious idea that you picked up as a child that you might not be enough, we have to literally change some of your fundamental beliefs about life and who you are. So in order to do that, I'm going to ask you a question. And I want you to really think about the answer. Kind of lock in the first thing that shows up in your head. So this is the question. What is the real purpose and point of you being here on the planet? Why are you here? What's the point of this journey for you? Now, over the last 10 years, I've had the chance to coach people from almost every country, culture, race, and religion on the planet. And I've asked all of them that question. And in doing that, I made a really interesting discovery. Do you know that all of them, regardless of their background, told me the same two things? So I'm going to share those with you, and you see if they came to your mind when you heard a question. So the first one that they all mentioned is that I think I'm here to learn and grow. There seems to be something kind of hardwired in us that we know we're on this planet to develop and grow and try to become the best version of ourselves that we can be. And we all feel it. That's just a truth that's inside of us. And then the second one that I hear from everybody is I'm here to love. I'm here to serve and help and lift as many people as I can along the way. So how do those two feel to you? Do you think it's truth that we are on the planet to learn and love, and maybe more specifically to learn to love? I really feel that that's a principle of truth. Now, if that's true, that means that life is school. And we've been sent to college. And the question is, what kind of school is this? There's two options. This is either a testing center or it's a classroom. Now, imagine how you'd feel if you show up to college and on the first day of class, the teacher says, "We're having a test. Good luck, it counts on your grade." And the second day of class, "We're having a test. Good luck, it counts on your grade." And this happened every day. How would you feel about that school? You probably wouldn't like it. That's not really fair, right? Because what's missing? They've got to teach you the material, right? We have to have time to learn before the test, or that's simply not fair. You've been taught since you were a small child that life is a test and that your value is on the line every day. You've literally been taught that every day is another chance to fail. And we know this because this is how you feel every day. You feel scared that you're not good enough. So you've been seeing life as a test. Now, others don't believe that's truth. I think it's what we learned, but I don't think that makes it truth. I think we have another option. We could see life as a classroom. Now, you remember in elementary school when it was learning time and the teacher might give you problems to solve, but if you got them wrong, it didn't count on your grade, you just erased it and you could try again, because this is the learning process. And you're safe in this place because there's lessons and you can make mistakes, but they don't count against your value. They're just about learning. And we literally have the opportunity every moment of every day to decide how we're going to see our life. You get to choose. Either your life is a classroom or it's a test. Now recently, I got the chance to teach this principle at the Juvenile Detention Center in Salt Lake. And I wasn't sure how this principle would go across with these kids, but when I got done, I had a young man come up to me, and this was a boy that you would have been scared to run into on the street. And he came up with just tears coming down his face, and he said, "Are you telling me that all I have to do is choose to see life this way, that life is a classroom, not a test, and that would mean that the mistakes I made that got me here don't affect my value, that they were just lessons, and I have a lot to learn, but my value is actually the same as yours?" And I said, "Yeah. Isn't that cool? Because we have the power every day to decide how we're going to see it. And you have the power to do that. But you have to own it and claim it." And the problem is that our subconscious programming with that fear of failure is so strong, it's become kind of our autopilot. And so it just happens all day long. And in order to change it, you're going to have to practice consciously choosing a different way to see yourself in your life. And you're going to have to choose it every minute of every day, but you can do it. And I love the speaker who was up earlier who talked about Viktor Frankl. He is a hero of mine because he taught us this, that in any given set of circumstances, you have the power to choose your attitude. And I know it sounds hard, and for a lot of us who've had insecurity and self-doubt kind of plague us our whole life, it almost feels impossible to trust that your value is actually safe and not on the line, that you can do it. You just got to get your trust muscle in shape. And it's just going to take a little bit of work and practice, and you can do it, just like the kids at the detention center learned to with me a couple weeks ago. So if this is the first time you've heard this principle, I'm going to encourage you to keep thinking about it. And you may even want to get out some paper and write an official policy for your life down, a commitment that from today forward, you're going to see life as a classroom, not a test. Thanks for having me.
Yeah.